everybody. I'm about ready to attack the roof of this car with the blaster. We're going to see how it goes here. Start with this edge over here. Take it a little bit at a time. As I said, I'm going to try and do this with low pressure. I'm going to set the pressure down to probably 40 psi. Start with that, see how things go. I'm going to try and use a straight edge across the top here. I can't do this with one hand, sorry. You can flex this and get the the gentle arc across the top of the roof. And what I'm hoping for is if any warpage occurs, I'll be able to see it with this thing. I'm try and stay away from that. If I catch a little bit here and there, it's not so bad. We just kind of go both ways across the roof. I measure it across this way. I have this one big dent right here, so as you can see, it's an extreme case of warpage. So I'm about to hit it with a little bit. I'll start with a little corner here and see how it goes. I'll let you know. All right, here's a little test area so far. As you can see, it looks really clean. I don't know how close I can zoom in here. There's still a little bit of stuff here and there. Most of it's clean, so I can go through and touch up the areas that are still a little bit dark down inside the pits. I can't see any warpage or anything. I doubt I'd see anything on this little corner anyway, but see, you lay this thing flat across here and it doesn't dip down anything obvious. So I'm come across this way. It looks nice and flat. So I think that's working so far. It is going to take a while. That little corner right there took 15 minutes. Probably half of my aluminum oxide, so it's gonna take a bunch of time, but it does look like it's coming clean, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go a little more toward the middle here where it's more likely to warp and see how that goes. Okay, this is after one complete container of aluminum oxide. I think may not be totally full anymore, but pretty close. So I got that, and this is not done. I ran out in the middle of this. You can see the stripe right there that's not totally clean. This part above here, I don't know if this is focusing or not. I apologize. Looks pretty good. Sorry, I'm all out of breath. I just finished sweeping all that stuff up. So I'm going to keep going here. It looks like it's working. I haven't seen any warpage, but boy, it's slow. Takes a long time. You can see how much the sun has moved here since I started. I don't know what time is it here. 1 o'clock. So I've been at this for an hour and a half already to get that much done. Oh boy. Alright, back to work. Okay, there we go. After what, 4 hours, 4.5 hours of work. Got a little over a quarter of it done, as you can see. It looks pretty good, I must say. Again, I don't know how well this is going to come out. I'll try and pan around a little bit here. Give an idea of what everything looks like. So this is the stuff here where I worked on it with the wheels and everything, sanding disc, wire wheels, all that stuff, and that was as good as I could get it. And that's what it looks like after hitting it with the aluminum oxide. I think that's as clean as it's ever going to get. I mean, the problem is, there still might be spots here and there where I didn't get all the way down into the pores, but from the 10,000 foot stand back and look at it, it's awfully clean. I don't believe anything's warped. As near as I can tell, it's still as flat as it was. The straight edge doesn't show up anything. Here's one of the things that worries me, though. I just looked at this today. So back here, I had this completely cleaned out with the aluminum oxide and wire wheels and everything. There was no rust in there, and it's rusted again. Now I know I didn't put any rust treatment or anything on it, but it just kind of highlights the points that I'm worried about here. I've cleaned all these areas up, and the only place on the car where there's rust is places where there was rust before. You know, the main panels and everything are still clean, except in the few little spots where there was rust. So, you know, this is what worries me about rust, is, you know, you think it's completely gone. That was completely spotless metal right there, and yet there's rust. So, I don't know, this thing still concerns me here. One option I do have, which I thought about, you know, as I've mentioned in a lot of my comments, that I have the DPLV PPG epoxy, and that stuff, you cannot put it over any kind of etch whatsoever. It's direct to metal, and when they say direct to metal, they mean it. Is, you know, the tech sheet says do not apply over any metal treatment whatsoever. One option I do have, though, is I could put rust treatment, you know, maybe phosphoric acid, whatever, on the roof here, and just say I'm not going to put DPLV on the roof, and, you know, put DPLV everywhere else, and then just seal this, you know, with whatever PPG sealer or something on top of the rust treatment, and just not worry about the epoxy for the roof. Don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it is one option to get around not having to worry about the epoxy sticking to the roof. Anyway, there's still the option, of course, of replacing the roof panel. So this is going to take me, at the calendar rate that I'm at right now, about a month to get this roof clean. And again, I don't know how long it would take me to just slap a new roof skin on, but I'm guessing it wouldn't take that long. I did hit this with the DA with 80 grit after this, smooth it all out. It looks pretty nice. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the latest adventure here, and we'll see where we take it from here. Thanks a lot. See ya. Just about done cleaning up here. This entire driveway gets covered with aluminum oxide. I have to sweep all of this stuff up, scoop it up, put it in the funnel, back into the blaster. You can reuse aluminum oxide 15 to 20 times, I think. Probably getting pretty close to the end of the line on that stuff. Not really sure, but not keeping count. But for what I'm doing right now of blasting the roof, that's actually probably a good thing, because it won't be as coarse. It knocks the edges off, so it's not quite as abrasive, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think upon further reflection on the roof, as I've been thinking about this while I've been cleaning up out here, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and finish blasting that thing, get that done. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some kind of phosphoric acid, vinegar, what, I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet, but something on there. Clean it up real good, and then go ahead and put the DPLV epoxy on there. And I think it's going to be okay, because it's going to be a long time before I actually get around to painting the whole car. So I'm going to get a chance to see how that stuff holds up, and, you know, it's going to be, what, a year, 2 years before I get around to trying to even think about doing paint. And I have some body work to do on the roof as well, so I'm going to have to sand down, you know, get to see how well that epoxy is holding up. And I suspect if there's going to be an adhesion problem, I'm going to find out pretty soon. It's not going to take, you know, 5 years for it to start to lift or something, I don't think so. I think that might be a good plan. You know, the blasting will get 95–99% of the rust off, and then whatever's left, get down in there with the acid, and, you know, and hopefully that doesn't leave behind a lot of other stuff of, you know, whatever the rust treatment leaves behind when it's done, you know, and DA it down and everything. Maybe it's going to be okay. So I think that's going to be the plan. A couple of weeks, hopefully, then I'll be ready to think about putting some primer on that thing. So anywho, thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.